Hello artists. Today you are going to be making the body parts for your paper mache bird. There are several materials that you're going to need, and there's certain places in the room that they are. The first thing you're going to need is a full-sized sheet of construction paper. These are in the construction paper organizer at the back of the room. This is not the same paper that we have been shredding. It is a full size in the construction paper organizer. The next thing you're going to need is a square piece of origami paper. This is near the full-size construction paper. You may pick any color you would like, and this is going to be what you use for your beak. The full-size construction paper is going to be what you use for your wings, your tail, and your head crest. The last paper that you're going to need, you're going to find in the scrap boxes, and you can pick any colors you want. There's a cool color box, so that's where I found my purple. There's a neutral box, that's where I found my black for the pupil of my eyes, and then white for the highlight. So you can see that you're gonna need many different papers, but they all come from different areas in the room. It's not the same paper that we've been shredding. Okay, to get us started, I'm gonna go ahead and show you what to do with the full-size construction paper. You're gonna actually make 4 things out of this: 2 wings, a tail, and a head crest. So the first thing we need to do is some dividing. Fold your paper in half and then cut it along that line. Now you have 2 equal pieces of paper. One of the papers is going to be your 2 wings. The other one is going to be your head crest and your tail. You need to fold both of them, but this time don't cut them. For the wings, this is pretty easy. All you're gonna do is a very deep smile face. If you want your wing to have a little bit of a curve to it, just draw it right along that line. Or if you want yours to look more spiky, like real feathers, then you could do a zigzag line along that line. This is for your wings. Your head crest and your tail, instead of having it sideways like your wing, I want you to turn it tall ways, vertical, and this time you're almost making a triangle. It's actually a trapezoid because it's flat at the top. Same thing, if you want a wavy tail, add a wave, or if you want a spiky tail, add a spike. While the papers are still folded, cut. That way when you're cutting, instead of just getting 1 wing, you're getting 2. Same thing for here, you're getting a tail and a head crest by cutting it while it's still folded. Scraps like this are too small to use for anything, so you can put them in your table trash can. But scraps like this are still big enough for someone to make eyes out of. Please return these to the scrap bins. Make sure you put cool colors with the cool colors, warm with the warm, and neutrals with the neutrals. So now when I pull these apart, I've cut out 2 symmetrical wings, and I've cut out a tail and a head crest. I have 4 body parts, and I only used 1 piece of construction paper to do that. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to make your eyes out of the scrap paper. So the color of your eye is called the iris. I'm going to use dark purple for this one. The first thing you need to do, just like on the other paper, is fold it. Now, if you want your eyes to be kind of small, make them kind of small. If you want them to be a little bit more cartoonish and cute, you can make them a little bit bigger. All you're doing is drawing a circle, and while the paper is still folded, cut so that you have 2 of the same size circles. I would also say that's still large enough for some eyes, so put that back in the scrap bin. Everyone's going to need black, because this is the color of the pupil. And as long as the pupil is smaller than the iris, then you're okay on your size. Return this one to the neutral scrap bin. Everyone needs highlights for the eyes. You're gonna use a hole puncher to do this. And if you just want 1 highlight, that's okay. If you want 2 highlights, that's a choice too. So either 1 or 2 highlights for each of the eyes. Once you have your eyes ready, use a glue stick to glue them all together. Remember to flip it over and give it a good back massage so that those white highlights don't fall off. And that's how your eyes look after you're done cutting them and gluing them. The last paper for your body parts is the square paper, and that's going to be used for the beak. There is a video on my Google Classroom page for you to follow to fold this. I'm going to fold one very quickly, but follow along with that video and pause it as you need to so that you can take your time on your own. And that's what it'll look like after you make your origami beak. The last supply you're going to need today is this strip of black cardstock. And with a Sharpie, I want you to put your name, but normally we do name here, class here. You're going to keep your name and your class all together on the left-hand corner, and you do want to keep it small. Whatever color you used for the beak, that's the same color I want you to use for the bird's legs. The bird's legs need to go right in the very center of this black strip, so nowhere near out here. All the way in the middle. Leave a gap about 2 finger spaces right in the center, and the 2 legs go on either side. It looks like a rectangle and 3 little lines coming off of it. Now that you have made all of your body parts, what I need you to do is put all of your parts on your painting paper so that I can glue the whole project together. So I have my actual paper mache bird on top of my painting paper. I have 2 eyes. I have 2 wings. I have a tail and a head crest. I have a beak. I have a black strip with the legs on it. And the very last thing you're going to get is feathers. I need you to collect 9 to 10 feathers that match your bird so that I can glue these on for you. When you have everything collected, feathers and all, it's going to look just like this, and when I am able to, I will glue the whole project together with hot glue gun. And this is what everything looks like after the body parts have been glued on. To give you some options, this one does have the head crest on it, but I wanted to show you other examples that don't have it. This one doesn't have a head crest, so the head crest is optional. You're gonna have to cut one anyway when you cut the tail, but if you don't want the head crest, you can just put that piece of construction paper in the scrap bin, and then I will know that you don't want a head crest on top of its head. Look at these feathers too. They're all blue this time, but a couple different shades of blue, so that's a feather option. Or you can have all of your feathers match. So this student chose to get all red to cover on the red construction paper. And then another option is no feathers at all. This student decided that they liked it better without the feathers, and they just liked the construction paper. So there are 2 options when you're making your body parts. You don't have to have a head crest, and the other option is you don't have to have feathers. Good job today, artists.